So here I am again making another video. Um, I've been very prolific as of late. I think part of that reason is because, at least subconsciously, um, we're having a baby in a couple weeks. So I know I'm not going to be around as much and be sharing as much content, probably, you know, the rest of the summer as I might be over the next couple weeks. Um, but there's been a lot on my mind that I've wanted to share recently, and that's why I've been making several videos. And what I wanted to talk about today is just something that I feel like is relevant, and it has been on my mind a lot because I've been speaking to people um, who've been involved with the law of attraction for a number of years and kind of come at it in an odd way, in the same way that I go about the law of attraction and how I talk about it in kind of an odd way, in unconventional way, um, and in a way that's proven to be successful for them in their lives over the long run. In other words, kind of like the anti-fast approach, the anti manifest something really quickly and you just have to do one or two things and this is what you do and that's it. Instead of kind of the slow, gray, working through pain, working through emotional stuff that comes up, and seeing that through and coming out the other side better, happier, and more abundant, both inwardly and outwardly. So I've spoken, like I said, to a couple people recently, including Miguel. I posted that interview from Finding Hermes. If you listen to that interview, you can tell that Miguel has been, on this road, similar path in regards to spirituality and also applying these law of attraction principles as I have, I would say. Um, and it really got me thinking, and what I want to share with you in this video is just like it got me thinking, like, why am I uh, sharing this information? And you've heard me say it before if you're familiar with my stuff at all. I always say it kind of baffles me that I talk about the law of attraction so much, and that people even consider me a law of attraction teacher. I don't really consider myself a law of attraction teacher. I'm just like more like a spiritual counselor, and your friend when it comes to this stuff. But it does strike me as kind of odd that I've spent so much time exploring these ideas and sharing it with other people. And, you know, I was trying to think of explanations as to why that is. And I think the first explanation that I come up with, and I was talking to Miguel about this, is that, it interests me. I'm curious about it. I find these ideas fascinating, whether they're kind of esoteric and spiritually sounding, like H.M. Lee Katie or Neville, or if they're more psychological sounding, like Coué or Maxwell Maltz. I mean, all this stuff just seems so pertinent on a practical day to day level that I find it fascinating. And so I think that's why I've spent so much time talking about it with others and have invested so much of my own time in my own life just trying to apply it for myself. But the second reason might be more interesting in a way, and that is that, for instance, I was chatting with somebody last night online, and I was just saying how, like, when Relax More Try Less came out, when I published that book, I was still so confused and baffled as to why Neville was not spoken about more. And I continue to be a little bit baffled about it, but I'm much less baffled by why these teachers are not explored and spoken about more than they are. Like why nobody speaks about Coué or H. Emily Cady, pretty much, at least in the United States that I know of. Um, why these teachers are not popular, or why the teachers that become popular, like Neville, why their advice seems to be so watered down. Like, why is that? And I realized that in this field, this law of attraction field or community or whatever you want to call it, people are not really competent in explaining these ideas to each other, in sharing this information. And I'm pretty good at sharing this information. And that's a big reason I do what I do with this law of attraction stuff. I'm curious about it, it interests me, and I'm competent in sharing this information, you know? It's not necessarily what I would expect to be sharing on like a spiritual level with other people, but the truth of the matter, it's what a lot of people are interested in, and there are shockingly few people who seem to be able to explain it on a competent level. And that's not to toot my own horn. I just know I'm decent at explaining these ideas. And I am still surprised by how poorly these ideas are generally shared with all of us. How few books, how few critical assessments have really been made, at least in this country, of people like Coué, let alone somebody like H. Emily Cady or Joseph Murphy or Neville, and how much bullshit is just spouted on YouTube and on Reddit in regards to these teachings, and how it's like so groundless a lot of the time. Um, and I'm good at cutting through that. And one reason I'm sharing this with you is because I think if you're listening to this, you're also good at cutting through it. And so I hope you continue to cut through the bullshit to the best of your abilities. I hope that I can help you do that. And I hope that you share this information in whatever way you see fit with others, where you cut through the bullshit, where you're skeptical of what people are saying, but at the same time, you're open to hearing new, cool, fascinating information that you're curious about. Because it can be a fine line. We all know that. Um, and I'm going to hopefully talk more about this in another video very soon, or in a couple upcoming videos, um, because it's been on my mind and I feel like it's very relevant and worth discussing. Competence is a very underrated skill when it comes to applying the law of attraction and when it comes to explaining it to other people. So don't try to be perfect, just try to be somewhat competent, and I think you'll see more and more success in your life, both inwardly and outwardly, if you do that.